I've been using tissue culture techniques for crop improvement. The field is biotechnology, genetic engineering. And with genetic engineering, you are taking a gene from one organism and putting it in another organism and generating a crop out of it, a product out of it. So for my work, I have typically developed tissue culture protocols for most of our food crops. For genetic engineering, I've genetically engineered sweet potato with my colleagues in Tuskegee University, USA, Alabama. I've worked on yam, genetic engineering. I didn't do the work here, I did it in the US, and the material is with my colleagues in the US. I've worked extensively on soybean, transgenic soybean, looking at genes that will make them tolerant to droughts and some pests. So those are the typical works I've done. And I teach genetic engineering, molecular biology, and tissue culture. It evolved from where there was no one till now there are a lot of people. I like space. When I have the space to deliver, I like the space. And when I started, there was nobody else doing tissue culture, which is an aspect of biotechnology in my University of Ghana, Legon. So people asked me why I would want to do that. But I had read about it and I knew the prospects it had for agriculture and food productivity, sustainability, and utilization. So I was bent on doing that science of tissue culture and other aspects related to biotechnology. So after school, I decided to continue my education in that line for my master's, PhD, postdoc. And this has helped me teach a lot of people. I ran a program for high school teachers and their students in Kumasi, and all creating awareness about biotechnology, because it's an area of science that even some scientists do not understand. They do not accept it, but it takes a lot of education to get them to know it and to accept it. A lot of biotech initiatives now in Ghana. If you talk of biotechnology, apart from genetic engineering, there are several other aspects of biotechnology which will ensure food sustainability. So that we were in the meeting, we were talking about crops that can, rice that can even withstand flood. I'm even looking at maize that can withstand flood, because when the dams are open in the sister country, the maize farms get flooded. Can we have maize that can withstand flood? And biotechnology can bring us techniques that can improve it. We in Ghana have our crops. We know the problems associated with our crops, and we need technology to improve our crops. So my message to the government is we will help the scientists use the technology that we know to locally improve our crops for food sufficiency. And even now, bring in the fall armyworm issue. GM has the solution. But as much as GM has the solution, I must say it's not the panacea. We have to explore all else to solve the problem. But GM has the solution to climate change and then food sustainability.
What has happened in Ghana for the regulation of PBR Cowpea for environmental release is such a momentous occasion that allowed us to have this year's OFAB Day in Ghana. During this moment, we want to take into consideration the various strides that have happened in the area of science, not just in Ghana, but also at Africa level. We want to campaign, we want to advocate for the role of science in the development of Africa, and this is what we've done today in Accra, Ghana. So every OFAB Day we set a theme, we set an issue that we want to celebrate on. Last year we were celebrating journalists. This year we looked across the section of science and we were able to pick champions from all the 10 countries. And I must say that we've seen OFAB chapter nominating their own champions. These are the individuals that have done a lot in agriculture biotechnology, and we've celebrated them, and we hope that they're going back with a lot of enthusiasm to do more in the area of agriculture biotechnology. But more importantly, we continue to engage policymakers to invest more in the area of agriculture biotechnology, and we're seeing improvements. Last year, we had about 6 countries that had biosafety systems that were functional to facilitate biotechnology. This year, we've added 2 more. In that case, I think we're looking for a very bright future in as far as the regulation of biotechnology is concerned. And this is not just regulation for the sake of regulation. We think that this regulation is going to translate into food and nutritional secure Africa, and this is why we celebrate. I wish to encourage governments, I wish to encourage scientists, that science, technology, and innovation is the future of Africa, and therefore we need to be hedging some resources towards the improvement and development of science and technology. We've noted that as Africa, this is an area that we're lagging behind, and this is why we are also food insecure by and large. And therefore, we are really calling on governments, we're calling on policymakers, we're even calling on private sector to be able to support the agenda of science and technology, because it does hold the future for Africa.
Nigeria produces about 47% of the world cowpea. And this cowpea, as you know it, which we call it in a local language to be beans, is contributing towards food security and nutritional security. So it's playing a dual role. Having seen that, farmers are running away from farming this food staple crop because of the insect that destabilize or distort the production of this cowpea. And that is why a lot of farmers run away from it. So with this technology, a lot of farmers has come back to the field, and now they have gained employment. After getting the employment, the processing of this cowpea give a lot of people employment. And after that, the food security is secured, and then nutritional security is secured. And that is what prompted Nigeria to take a further step to see that it has commercialized this cowpea, to see that it take advantage of this technology that has been inserted. We are a population of more than 200 million people, and we take advantage to see that we are a food secured country, and we take advantage to see that we have a nutritional security in the country. So as Ghana is a sister country to Nigeria, it has a huge population. We know that Ghana has cowpea as its own food staple. I came in here in the morning, I found beans in the menu. In the afternoon, I found beans in the menu, which means Ghana is using beans extensively. So what you need to learn is that you have to bring back your farmers to really work with this cowpea, because it reduces them a lot of tension. It brings them back the glory of farming, whereby they can utilize what they have as a commercial way of living using this cowpea production. If there is no insect-resistant cowpea, it means that the land is going to be devastated because of excessive use of chemical. If there is no this technology cowpea, it means that all the insects around the ecosystem, when you spray a chemical, it is going to be destroying the ecosystem. If there is no this cowpea, it means that the microorganisms that revitalize soil after farming every year, it means they are going to be killed, and they are not going to be any more nutritious to the bring nutrition to the soil. So there are a lot of advantages that Ghanaian has to look into to see that they have commercialized this. The population is going to benefit from it. I mean, the people with large population are going to benefit from it. So these are the advantages that I think when Ghanaian took it as an advantage, it is going to help them quite a lot. Farmers here should take advantage, because science in Africa is very, very necessary. The mechanized system in Africa is something that we are lagging behind. We don't have the mechanization, so the only advantage that we have is to take advantage of the science. This is going to improve the yield. This is going to improve the quality of the seed. There is no much chemical that you may find in this product because there is less spray. So if you do not take this advantage, there will be a time that farmers are going to run away from the farm because of the lack of profit in the farming business. And I'm sure a lot of farmers are producing this cowpea, and you shouldn't rely on the importation of this cowpea from other countries. You should strive as much as possible to see that you produce it for yourself. This self-reliance is what is needed in Africa and what is to be replicated in all countries across Africa, including Ghana. So I'm calling upon the farmers to embrace technology so that it will move forward the productivity of this palm produce in Ghana and in entire African countries.
We're doing a lot of things and adopting different approaches on the side of science, the side of government, on the side of farmers. And let me start with farmers. We are trying to ensure that the products we give to them as biotechnology products are strengthened further in what I would call the next generation of products to be developed. Like in Ghana, with the PBR Cowpea, we've only used one type of gene, but now we will strengthen it with a second type of gene and then make the product more robust. So we shall be developing more advanced products with new technologies. We will be engaging with the government more because we're trying to strengthen the value chains. We're trying to empower farmers in a way that they can have access to markets. We're trying to promote commercial agriculture, shifting from subsistence to agribusiness that will permit them to have more money and then make them to prosper. That will be done by partnering with government, and we need the government support to do that. So AATF will continue with advocacy. We shall continue with integration. We will continue to provide answers to questions being asked. And what is very critical is it drives all these processes, and we will continue to strengthen the agricultural sector with relevant knowledge, especially in biotech, which is almost critical towards addressing food and nutrition security needs to empower countries on the continent.
We embrace biotechnology, and we have been there all along, speaking for it, and now more than any time, Africa needs to adopt biotechnology that leads to GMO crops. So, because food security is very important for the development of Africa, and then we have so many threats from insecurity to flooding, drought, and all that. We need biotechnology to be able to get or attain food security in Africa. As for Ghana, I think there is work in progress. I am impressed with the level of attainment. I now know that you are going to follow us. We are going to go lockstep as usual. And I believe one of the speakers there said that you're also going into teller maize, going into cowpea and BT cotton and all that. So I believe that it's a coming thing, not only for Ghana, but for all of Africa. We should all go that way because this is the only thing that we can offer to the world. It is guaranteed that we have more land, more usable land. Our land is in a better condition than that of Europe and the Americas. So if we work very hard and we embrace biotechnology, we'll be able to feed the world. All farmers should embrace biotechnology because I have seen no nexus. And you know my background is science. I'm an architect. There is no nexus and no scientist has given us any nexus between GM and cancer or any other disease for that matter. All the people who have been talking are antis and they are just gossiping. If they have facts, they should come to you. And then the biosafety agencies that we set up before anything is commercialized is there to check and be sure that whatever is out there is safe for consumption. And that's the guarantee that we have. So all farmers will get out of poverty if they embrace biotechnology. Because where you produce barely 2 tons from the conventional crops, you can get 10 tons from biotechnology, and therefore you get more money into your pocket. So farmers will start going to their farms on helicopters and all that. We will be rich, we will not be a bunch of poor people.
The message for other countries that are coming behind Nigeria, of course, is to encourage them, to motivate them to do more, to rise up. This is not an easy war because the anti-GM group will never stop what they're doing because they are being paid and they have to justify the money they are collecting from their secret donors. And so they will keep on making their noise, carrying out their negative campaigns, misinformation, disinformation. So you have to, Ghana and other countries have to go into strategy development. I mean, do an all-inclusive communication strategy, leave no stone unturned, and everyone in the society is an ultimate consumer of GM products, of course. And so for them to, to really succeed in this, so they have to reach out, to the grassroots, of course. But reaching out to the grassroots, if you don't have a product at hand, it's really very difficult. Because the farmers out there, when you go, because we tried it in Nigeria, when we started going to the grassroots without anything, where are the seeds? That's what they will ask. Where are the seeds? How can we have the seeds? So by the time you go the second time and there's nothing at it, forget it. So, but I'm happy that Ghana has done something now. The environmental release of the BT cowpea is a good one. Some people are ready to adopt this technology, use products of GM, but then they need to hear from us. If they're not hearing from us, if they're not assured of the safety of these products, of course they will lie back and they'll begin to, and you know that negative news, run faster than the positive news. So we have to use our evidence base, take them to the fields, these stores, seeing is believing, then when it's commercialized, you can now begin eating is believing. As they see you eat, they will know that yes, this is safe. It's not an easy path, but you have to get that courage, no fear, nothing at all, because you are standing on the facts. What I will tell you is that remove fear. The scientists should work out. They should be ready to defend the technology at any time, at any point in time. To anybody, the policymakers, the regulators, they should reach out to those. Even within the scientific community, the problem we're having in Nigeria, one major challenge, some scientists collect money from this anti-GM and talk against it. So what will you say about that? So you have to bring out your facts, those factual, the data you have generated. Data has been generated from the cowpea. You can use that. They can use that. The scientists can use that, as an evidence, as a proof. Because in Africa, most times we don't have data. So now at least let's begin to generate our data, and your data will, actually bail you out. We need to begin to talk to our African governments because they're not good at funding researches and all those things. And even the communication is capital intensive. So the little one you get from outside, as you're doing, other technology developers are watching you. Because in Nigeria, we get little funds from USDA, from the Alliance, from different sources. So as you move out and you make yourself visibility, make yourself visible on the social media, and then maybe try to access, others will even look for you, because that's what happens to us. And then in your own institution, in those like CSIR, so the Director General there can be actually talked to, because you have to put some budget lines. So the little you have, just do. But the social media is there, it's free. I mean, it's not that this thing. You can also use the social media, all the social media, that you can Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, with little data, you can do so much.
If you look at the body language of the participants, international and local, see that everybody was responding positively, and the body language vividly shows. It's a new technology. To us, very new. But others have done it. If you go to the East African countries, they have done it. It's just a matter of manipulating the gene. Yes. The gene controls every part of the living cell and then the body, be they animals or plants. So if you're able to manipulate the gene through gene coding, gene editing, and so on and so forth, you get a new variant. which is not as dangerous and carcinogenic as other people think. It's just a matter of science. And nobody is trying to play God. We are not trying to play God. It's just a scientific revolution that is going around. So it's nothing scary like my other colleagues have been able to say. And even from today's deliberations, there's nothing scary about it, except that, like you were trying to ask, it needs a lot of resources. And the resources, if you're able to, in our budgets, put them in our budgets and whatnot, and the scientific world, the scientific community in Ghana, if you're able to embrace the technology, already they are being done in most of the research institutions, FORIC, and so on and so forth. When you go to the higher education, Legon, UDS, KMUST, and whatnot, we are undertaking biotechnological programs over there. So the idea is not far-fetched, except that we should have the boldness to embrace the technology, so that we will get food for the upsurging population. After all, others have done it, and they are feeding their populations. We also have to embrace the technology, and then serve mankind for biosafety and then food security.